Coming to you live from the One More and I'm Out of Here / Illegal Shift Studios. We are back at you with another episode of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. And I am very thankful to have the co-host, Rich Crumman, friend of ours, friend of mine for a long time. But he's filling in for Pappas. Pappas decided to go travel up to the state we don't talk about up north.
Oh, we can. We were just talking about it. They're the national champions.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Come on.
I don't like it. But we got Rich here, and
go Blue.
And I say you shut your mouth. It'll be the last time you co-host. No, we were talking, before we started. It's amazing, and I say this every time, but it's amazing how much shit we have or could cover, and an hour goes by way too fast.
Well, I mean, Matthew Perry still is dead. Just to let everybody know, he still is dead.
He still is dead. You want to hit that? You want to hit that right off the bat? Let's do that.
Why not?
Let's do that.
I mean, because there's really not much out there right now. I mean, but it does. I mean, coming from a background of law enforcement, I mean, here in Hamilton County, we started the heroin task force years ago, and people you heard in the background would say, "Hey, you're only charging these people because they're in low income communities, blah blah blah." But you know what? They're going after the people that supplied the drugs to them. The people that helped them overdose. Exactly what the heroin task force does here in Hamilton County. And I'm sure that there's other places across. So you're going after these dope dealers. You're going after these people that are supplying the drugs, whether they're rich, famous, whoever, the guy that's laying on the street corner, the dealers are getting charged now. It has nothing to do with money.
He got it from somewhere.
Right. I mean, I think they said on, I was listening to Fox on my way home from work today coming over here. They were talking about that this was the queen of ketamine was one of the people charged today.
So if you hadn't heard, and I didn't hear it until probably a couple hours ago, but 5 arrests have been made with, and we knew something was going to happen. I mean, they had an investigation on it, but it wasn't just a one-off of, he just overdosed and he drowned, in his hot tub. Somebody of this stature, they're going to look into it, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, as they should. I mean, a coroner comes out. They're gonna send an investigator out. I mean, he was a young man when he passed away. He was what, 53, 54, if I remember correctly.
I'm actually 54. Yeah.
Okay. So he was 54 years old. They're going to look into it. They're going to look at his medication history. They're going to look at they're going to call his doctor. They're going to do everything that they need to. And then they're going to go a little bit further. And yes, that's where his celebrity is going to check into it. And they're going to find out exactly what, and why he was on this, how long he'd been on it.
Well, and him having publicly stated that he had an addiction problem. So it says 5 people have been arrested and charged over the death of Matthew Perry, including the actor's personal assistant and 2 doctors. And then there's some other people involved. But the doctor supplied the Friends actor who died at the Los Angeles home in October of 2023 with a large amount of ketamine. U.S. Attorney.
How large?
Well, and I want to know how much. I actually want to know how much he had, how much was in his system, and how much he had on hand at home, because we at the fire, in the fire department, we just got ketamine last year to carry on the ambulances, and it is a very weight-based drug, and it's scary to push.
Really?
Now it does tremendous things for people that are, you've got a broken femur. I can give you fentanyl and ketamine.
So can you do that in addition to, like, I remember, when I was in the military, okay, you got to have your morphine shot. Is that what they're using now?
So morphine's kind of going by the wayside because we have fentanyl and then we have ketamine. We still carry morphine, but typically fentanyl is better. Ketamine's way better. You'll forget you have fucking legs with ketamine, but it's a scary drug to push because it's weight-based. So you got to figure out roughly. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but you got to look and be like, all right, how many milligrams per kilogram? And it's like 0.01. Like it's tough. It's you have to sit there and think about it. It's not something where fentanyl, I can give you 50 micrograms.
So in this case, I'm glad I took the right test.
Yes. Perfect. You fucking asshole.
I know.
That's why we love you.
Exactly.
But no, I found this interesting. We knew something was coming down the pike, and this was just kind of a throw off story. But we were talking about it right before we started. I was waiting to find out, and I'm glad to finally get a little bit of, I don't want to say closure about it, but because you would hear snippets.
Right.
Oh, Matthew Perry's death still under investigation. Well, he fucking died.
Well,
I get it. And he overdosed. Okay. Well, now they're going much further, and 5 people are charged at this point. And like you said, the queen of ketamine. I want to find out who the fuck she is.
It'll come out. Well, I'm sure that'll be on Court TV coming up, and there'll be something here in about a year that we'll be talking about.
Right. That's why I love podcasting, because I mean, and especially right now, like we have so much ammunition on either side. Plus, you get the social stuff and sports stuff and whatever.
We could be looking at either this trial on Court TV, or is Donald Trump versus the Department of Justice on TV. Which one are we going to look at? I mean,
who wins that? Who wins that?
Is it going to be his Department of Justice by then?
I hope it is.
I think
God damn it, I hope it is.
They were breaking it down on the 6 o'clock on Fox on how many electoral votes he needs and where it should be. It looks like once again.
Fox Business exclusive. President Trump set to sue the government over the 2022 Mar-a-Lago raid, which resulted in the federal case involving his classified documents. Fox Business's Lydia, who is here with more. Lydia.
Good morning there, Cheryl. Former President Donald Trump is putting the government on notice. He plans to sue them for $100 million over the Mar-a-Lago raid from 2 years ago and the prosecution of the documents case that followed. Now, in this notice that he filed with the government just last week, Trump accuses the Department of Justice and the FBI of invasion of privacy, malicious prosecution, and abuse of process. Trump's lawyers talked to Fox Business exclusively, saying the government's goal was to keep Trump from running for office again.
Which is no shock to anybody.
We have a word for
what's
that
been going on the entire time.
A lot, but in this case is very accurate and precise. Election interference. And that's what President Trump believes the entire special counsel investigation was about, interfering with his ability to get elected.
Now, Trump's lawyer raises a number of issues in this notice. One is the way
whether it
in
was
which
here
the
at
search warrant was
Mar-a-Lago,
executed,
or if
and
it was
a total
Atlanta,
surprise,
if it was
which
New
they
York.
say violated established protocol. The lawyer points to testimony from a former FBI assistant director who said agents should have first sought Trump's consent, offered notice to Trump's lawyers, and invited cooperation. They also cite internal FBI emails to show agents questioned whether there was the required probable cause to support the search. And Trump's lawyers argue that Attorney General Merrick Garland should have known that Trump would have immunity and that Jack Smith cannot be appointed special counsel, which we now know is the very reason why Judge Cannon dismissed the documents case. The Department of Justice declined to comment, but now the government has 6 months to decide whether to settle Trump's claim for that $100 million. And if they don't, Trump could sue the government and seek that money.
I guarantee you there's a settlement for one. But the fact you bring in the whole Jack Smith thing is absolutely fucking preposterous.
Well, my thing is it takes 6 months. 6 months from now, he's going to be president. So he's suing himself. Essentially.
See, that's what you call a good businessman, though.
True.
Money's coming around one way or the other. He's gonna get paid.
And not to, but to play devil's advocate and to spur debate in our chats. Is that ethical?
It's a good question. I mean, being funny, I'm saying, he's going to get paid either way. But he wasn't president at the time, and the government fucked him.
Correct. Now, I think he has all the right as a private citizen to do it. But I think that he should appoint, or the Department of Justice should appoint a special counsel to settle that case. And it should
as long as it's appointed correctly.
You're right. Right. And I think that just speaks to my, law enforcement background, is that, you have to have that equality. You have to be fair about it.
Fair question.
And I think that
but he was a private citizen when that happened.
100%.
So he got, shit.
Oh, I know. There we
go. But he did get fucked as a private citizen. Whether you agree whether he got fucked or not, I don't know. But obviously a judge said, that's not right. So we're dismissing everything. So I'm glad that he's deciding to go after that. Now, just like when he was president, he didn't take a dime of that money of his salary and fucking donate it out. So
he could be like the Hawk Tua girl with this and start donating to the pet and animal hospitals. And just Give it to the pizza guy on the street in New York sitting outside Trump Tower. I mean,
love it.
That's what, why not?
Just and actually, Jill, I didn't even see this yet, but Jill Billy 007, which we know Jill, she's either up there or walking the dog. I'm not sure, but she
looking
goes,
for squirrels on
I
the
could
street
see
corner.
Trump suing and then giving the $100 million away to charity. I see that. I can completely see that as well.
And just he would give it. I would think that it would be kind of funny if he started giving it away to Democratic candidates that are looking to unseat certain Democratic opponents.
That's a great idea.
Isn't that be him? It just would be him.
I think you should make an Instagram post and hashtag it with that.
That would be awesome.
Trump first and then that.
I mean, he would go after people that are going after like AOC and, and primaries and stuff like that. Why not? I mean, that's what some people are doing. I mean, that's what, some of the Democratic parties are doing against the Republican candidates. Why not the Republicans start doing it against the Democrats? I mean, they're starting to, get up more money here and there. You win this lawsuit, take their money back to them, give it to them.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. We're gonna hit. This is kind of gonna be a bookended topic because we've got a guest that we're gonna be calling in about 15 minutes. But I want to hit this because this is huge, and this was the whole thumbnail and the description of this podcast is how messed up. I'm trying to figure the right way to word it. How messed up is the fact that you have the Democratic National Convention getting ready to start on Monday, this coming Monday, and we have riots in Ferguson that left a police officer
severely injured,
critically injured. Hopefully he pulls through, but they're not sure if he is. You've got a DNC delegate arrested in connection to it.
Yeah.
Because he's there rioting, not protesting. I don't give a fuck what you say.
He was there in memory of Michael Brown on the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of this.
In Ferguson, not Chicago. Just so
Ferguson, Missouri, to commemorate the anniversary. They weren't there to commemorate all the changes that community has had in the last 10 years. They weren't there to peacefully celebrate with the city, the government, the police department, all the changes that they asked for, the community asked for, the government asked for. They were there initially from the press conferences. They were there peacefully. And then all of a sudden, things turned violent. The police chief in his press conference over the weekend, 3-4 days ago, even said, I blocked off this entire street from the firehouse all the way down to the police department.
Yep.
They were peaceful until it got dark, and then they weren't. I did not have my guys go out until they started committing crimes and criminally damaging property.
And it was a property of a fence right outside the police department. They were trying to break the fence down. So to me, at that point, as soon as you're creating property damage, that's not a protest anymore. To me, that's a riot. That Correct. Is a small riot.
You're creating.
And you being a police officer, how would you think?
It's been several years since I looked at the law, but if I remember correctly, hey, peacefully protest, walk up, and it's your First Amendment right. Peacefully assemble, talk about your rights if you feel that they're being violated. But as soon as it becomes violent, whether it's against property or a person, you've committed the crime. And there's no way that you can, peacefully protest when you're violently committing crimes against a person or a property. And that's a riot. I mean, we saw it here in Cincinnati in the late 60s. We saw it here. Well, you and I didn't, but we saw it here in 2001.
Your fucking dad did, though.
Oh, my dad did.
He's old as shit.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he was. well, that's for another podcast here. Right. Oh, we need to get Dad, if you're watching, you need to come on a podcast. So, anyways, but I mean, he started his career with basically a riot and ended his career with a riot.
Yeah,
I mean that's unfortunate, but that's how some of those officers before me and in that age group they handled it. But yeah, a riot is a riot. You're causing damage. You're hurting people. You're hurting their businesses.
So we're gonna hit the actual the video. We have the body cam footage and whatnot. But what kills me is a DNC delegate is arrested because he's there. He's there and was obviously creating enough of a ruckus to where he's put in handcuffs, charged. But so I'm going to read this. The protest came just 10 days before the start of the Democratic National Convention. And among those arrested was Keith Rose, a St. Louis alternative delegate to DNC and a member of the St. Louis Civilian Oversight Board, which reviews allegations of police misconduct. That's the main reason I wanted to hit this, is because how fucking ironic is that?
It's
everybody wants to sit on the sidelines and judge you police officers, but then go out and do dumb shit.
I don't think it's ironic at all, because we see it here in Cincinnati. We see it with the Citizens Review panel here in Cincinnati.
Well, yep.
I mean, and people outside of Cincinnati don't know it, but there's one particular person in particular that, she would be right there with these protests, but she sits on a Citizens Review panel. And she's got these officers within Cincinnati so paranoid, I guess you could say, for a lack of a better term, but I know that's not really it, because they just go out there and do their job no matter what. And, they make sure that they do it ethically and they do it professionally and they do it within the law. But she is so far left and she is so radical that it is so difficult for them to do their job. It's ridiculous. The criminals have more rights with these citizen complaint authorities than the actual officers do. I mean, but luckily you have good people, and we know Ken, who's the president of Cincinnati's FOP, and you had Dan Hills on, who was the past president of Cincinnati's FOP. You got these people like those two that are willing to stand up and fight along with the rest of their board members to fight against bad people like this that are on these citizen complaint authorities, that they're on there to make the officers the criminals, and they're out there committing these crimes and protesting against, what we as law-abiding citizens want.
Right. And it's funny because the quote here is Keith Rose has decided to voluntarily withdraw as an uncommitted alternate delegate.
And Joe Biden volunteered to step down too.
Right. I'm like, I mean, how ironic. And, and granted, I know it's the 10-year anniversary, but it's, 5 days before the DNC, that's going to be close in Chicago, which
3.5 hours away, if I remember.
Why you would ever think that Chicago, I mean, obviously I know it's very democratic, but you're taking your life in your own hands. Anybody that goes up there, I know Andrew has stated multiple times he wants to go up and just
instigate,
just to be there. Well, he wants to be there. He wants to watch it. But I'm like, dude, why would you want to do that? Like, after we got off the air, I'm like, why would you want to do that? You're taking your life in your own hands.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near there.
I've been to Chicago many times. I've had many great memories from there. You could not pay me.
I had someone that said
go to Chicago.
I had someone say that they wanted to go up there this past weekend for their birthday, and with a group, and I'm like, there's no way that I'm going up there anywhere near there this summer.
No,
no way.
There's no way.
I mean, you're going to have fence upon fence upon fence. You're going to have political actors in there. You're going to have all sorts of people from all over the world, not just America. You're going to have, anybody who wants to just make a name for themselves, and they're just going to be wandering up and down the streets. They could be instigating, trying to get, somebody to just create a viral clip on TikTok. So there's no way to go up there. Stay away from there.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, since he
513,
513's back. He wasn't here our last one.
I saw the one about
Cincy,
people
you should have been
killed
here.
on.
You should have been here. And Andrew was actually really, really upset that you weren't. Fuck, you showed up today.
Well, see,
I wish you sent me a text message to let me know you were coming in.
To answer the question or the comment that Cincy 513 had about January 6th, in my opinion and my feelings on it was, there were people killed. The officer, that was a strenuous thing. I don't think that it had to do anything with the fire extinguisher, honestly. I mean, but there was another underlying medical condition that they made to look that way. That's just my personal opinion. However, what about the Air Force, the veteran, the military veteran that was shot and killed unarmed? There's no reason for that to happen. That officer should have been criminally indicted. That Secret Service agent should have been criminally indicted and charged whatever they needed to charge him with. Now we have an officer up outside the Columbus area. They're criminally charged with murder. How many other officers have been charged we still have not seen that Capitol Police officer charged with the murder of that Air Force veteran. If I remember correctly, she was an Air Force veteran. But that's ridiculous. I mean,
so I'm catching up, and I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were sitting there. I was looking at the other article, but the fact. So I see. Since he says, I agree. Like when people broke barriers and windows and stormed the Capitol, people were killed there too. What about? All right. So let me ask you this question, Cincy. What about the video? The copious amounts of videos of police officers allowing people in the doors and giving them a tour. What about that? I mean, yeah, you have assholes. You have assholes no matter what. So yeah, the right has assholes. Your left has assholes. We all have them. What about those cops that allowed them in, or the people that just walked in? Maybe they didn't storm. Some people did, and yes, they should have been arrested. They should have been charged with vandal, whatever it was, breaking and entering, vandalism. But it's not breaking and entering at that point if the door's open.
Right. It's just
now at that point it's vandalism. Correct.
It could be just say trespassing.
Trespassing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you.
I mean, at the very least, but it's a public place. It's like walking into a city hall.
I'm just trying to figure out, and I get it, they stormed the Capitol. Yeah, there were some people that did, and guess what? They got arrested. But the people that were let in, and some people that were just let in, got arrested and are still sitting in fucking jail.
So, okay, you remember, and maybe this is a bad example, but this is the one that I always looked at. When University of Cincinnati played Ohio State in 2002 at Paul Brown Stadium, now Paycor Stadium, we were told, I was working for a department that was doing on-field security down there. We were told that if the fans stormed the field when UC wins, and unfortunately they didn't, they lost to Ohio State in the last second. But if UC wins and the fans storm the field, let them on the field. Don't try and stop them. Any other time, they're charged with criminal trespassing, disorderly conduct, a few other things. Let them on the field. Just don't let them into the tunnels. So there's a plan where they let them on the field. They aren't charged with criminal trespassing. So to give these Capitol Police officers, they might have been given a command. Okay, there's too many of them. Let them in.
It's the Capitol Police Chief is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But let them in. This is a public building. Just don't let them into certain areas. That could have been it. And then ones that got into those certain restricted areas, those are the ones that are arrested. But why not let them in the public areas, the hallways that any other person going on a tour is allowed to be in? There's no reason that they should be charged with anything. They were just there walking around. I mean, if I was there, I didn't have any, if I would have been there and I wanted to walk around and I see, 100,000 people walking towards the Capitol, I'm going to probably follow. I don't have any ill will or criminal intent.
Right.
Mine is, hey, they're letting us in the Capitol. I'm going to walk around for a minute and see what I can see, take a few photos, and then I'm going to walk out.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I may not have to pay $29.95, to get in. Right. I mean, I think it's $42 now, if I remember right from when I was there in March to go on to see the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island. But I mean, if you get a chance to walk into some place that's as amazing as the U.S. Capitol, I mean, as an American, as a patriot, as a Marine, as a veteran, I'll take any chance that I can. I mean, it's just like the YouTuber or the TikToker that they had that got into restricted areas at Great American Ballpark. And I think there's been a few other places that's what he does. That's pretty, I mean, he just, it just happens every once in a while.
Have we always stayed within the turnstiles or the tape? No. So, most of us have not.
Do we all stay at 35 miles an hour?
Absolutely not.
Does Cincy 513, do you stay at 35 miles an hour? Or do you go to 36?
Oh, fuck. I hope not. Jesus. No, it's just funny when you hear that, and we've heard it since then, but, they stormed the Capitol. Well, there were a few people that you could say stormed the Capitol. And when I say a few, I mean, there was probably a bunch. More than 4 or 5. Broken windows and shit. And those are the assholes that I don't agree with. And I will not condone what they did. But the people that were walking through and, they got arrested when Capitol Police open the fucking door and say, hey, all right, so this is this. I mean, there's video of it. So it's like, unless
you need the bathroom, here it is on the left, third door down.
Right.
Don't use Nancy's.
it's that shit. It frustrates me because there's assholes everywhere, and I'm probably one of them most of the time. But
I know I am pretty much all the time.
Pretty much all the time.
and you have some probably ammunition to back that up.
I think I do.
But I know that we're getting close to having to give our friend a little call here.
Yeah, this is where we're going to bookend, and then we're going to go back to the Ferguson stuff because this is really big shit, and I hope this guy fucking pulls through.
I do too. I mean, he's the son of a former St. Louis police officer. He's got 2 children, and he's an 11-year veteran of St. Louis County Police Department, Sheriff's Department, and he's only been with Ferguson Police Department since January of this year. So our prayers are out to him and his family, along with his fellow co-workers.
Sorry, I had to comment to Cincy 513, but sorry, it's gonna keep happening. Let me see. I had it.
So give us we'll give you a little bit of a preview here.
So
this is a friend of some of ours. She's been around the world, literally.
It's ironic because I had no idea that you knew who she was, and I had started following her social medias because I was like, that is fucking cool as shit.
It is. I mean, I'll let her do us a little more of the introductions when we get her on the phone, but we're going to do a really long, not really long, but we're going to do a full interview and podcast show with her here in the next few weeks when she gets back to town. She's originally from Cincinnati, West Side girl, and she's got a really unique perspective on things, something that I think all of us have always wanted to do. Well, she woke up one day and she said, hey, I'm going to do it. So let's go ahead and get her on the phone.
All right. Bear with me.
Bear
with me with the sound for a second.
She's out west, and she's just on her way back. She just spent the last few weeks out in Sturgis. And before that, I'm trying to remember where she was. I think she was she was up at the Calgary Music Fest.
This is Mia.
Oh, we didn't get big timed. We didn't get big timed.
Right.
Thank God.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Outstanding.
Outstanding. Good to hear it.
Nice to hear you.
You too.
I liked your Instagram stories today. They were awesome.
Yeah.
Nice little was it the hippie hole?
Hippie hole. Yep. It was a good one. It was a more intense hike than I anticipated, but it was good. It was fun.
Nice. So if you wouldn't mind, would you mind giving our listeners just a little bit of a bio background on you? I kind of gave them a little bit of, you woke up one day and you kind of realized what we all probably want to do.
Yeah. So let's see. I was a banker for 14 years. I'd started in banking when I was 15 as a teller, and I worked my way up the ladder and became branch manager by 23, vice president by 26, and I oversaw all of our deposit operations. And I owned a home, and I had, the quote unquote perfect dream life, like the American dream. And then along came COVID, and I think after just being stuck in the house for so long with COVID, I was just tired of it and ready to go. So one day my neighbor sold their house, and I saw what they made on it. And I said to my mom, if I sell my house, I could what would I do? Live in my car and travel the world? She said, I'm so tired of hearing you say you're going to do it. Just effing do it. And my mama's an angel.
You can say fuck. Cuss. You can say fuck here. Just fucking do it.
Fucking do it. And she's an angel. My mama don't cuss, but she was like, just fucking do it. And I said, well, all right then. I went in the next day and I tendered my resignation at the bank. And I told him, I was like, I had a standing meeting with the president and the CEO like every 6 weeks, just a department update. And I told him, before we get started on anything, get into anything, I'm going to throw a wrench into everybody's plans because I am prepared to tender my resignation. I'm going to live in my car and travel the world. And they're like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I have no idea. But if I sell my house, I should have enough to live off of for like a year and a half, and it'll give me time to figure it out. So I did that. We agreed that it would take about 3 months to like transition me out, get new people in, all that fun stuff. And got my house together, sold it, I started in an SUV and was in my SUV for about 5 months. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do with my life. I love it. And so then I sold that and bought a big orange ambulance, converted it.
That's why I thought it was an ambulance. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't positive.
I was waiting for the Bengal stripes to be on it.
I really contemplated putting the Bengal stripes on it because my first event that I bartended was actually the Super Bowl, and it was the year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. And so I almost put stripes on it, but I ended up not doing it. But yeah, so I had posted on Facebook because I bartended on the weekends to put myself through college. And so that was the only other skill set I had other than banking. And I posted and said, I don't know if traveling bartending's a thing, but I want to make it a thing. And I had like this huge response, like thousands of comments and people reaching out. They were like, I love your story. This is awesome. You can bartend at my bar, blah, blah, blah. And then a gal reached out and she was like, hey, do you know about event bartending? You know, we travel all over the world or all over the States and bartend events. And I'm like, no, I don't know anything about it. She added me to a few Facebook groups. I made some connections. And the next thing you know, my friend reached out and said, hey, do you want to bartend in the Super Bowl? And I was like, hell yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. At that point, I was in Key West and I drove from Key West to LA.
I love Key West. Oh, I love Key West.
Bartended the Super Bowl. Yep.
Man.
So
then it's kind of been
go ahead.
History. No, go ahead. It's I was gonna say it's just been that ever since. I just kept meeting people and reaching out, networking, trying to just prove myself, earn my stripes, and here we are 3 years later.
So I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and I said, I love what she's doing. And before I knew that Rich knew you, like I followed you on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
And just because I was like, holy shit, like that is awesome. Like you just drop it and go. I don't have the balls to do that. I just don't. And I can appreciate anybody that can say, you know what? I don't need this. I'm going to go do me and we'll just see where the wind blows us. And I love that. So how many states and how many countries have you hit?
47 states, and I think it's 35, but it might be 36 countries. I was trying to remember today because I just did Canada. I went to Canada for my first time last month.
Well, Canada doesn't count. Come on now.
Well, it is another country. It does count. They spoke a different language. They have a different metric system, you know. Anyway, I think that was country 36, but I need to go back through and count now because I didn't update it right when I did it, and so now I can't remember.
So you're just now getting back. You're on your way back from Sturgis, correct?
Yeah, I'm currently in Deadwood, which is right outside Sturgis. So.
You got to try Mavericks while you're there if it's still open.
Mavericks, what's that?
It's a steakhouse.
Yeah,
it's right across from the Harley shop there. One of my favorite places. But yeah,
I'll have to check it out. I don't know. I'm going to Nebraska tonight to see Carhenge. It's like a play on Stonehenge in the UK, which it's actually cars upright in the dirt.
Oh, that's cool.
Then, and so I'll hit that tonight and then tomorrow morning. And then I have like a 12 or 13 hour drive to Illinois. I'll stop there Saturday, spend the day there Saturday, and then Cincinnati to build my new van. So I bought a new van 3 weeks ago, and now I get to build it out.
That is, I saw that on your story, and that's just awesome. Did you sell the orange one? I saw that you were kind of leaving it where it kind of lied. Was that in Minnesota, if I remember correctly?
No, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Bismarck.
So it is still parked in the tire shop parking lot that I slept in for 3 days.
Oh shit!
It is still parked there. They're pretty awesome, and I left him a little tip when I left, and it was like a love note, like, thank you, here's a couple $100, I'll call you in a few weeks. So I need to get my shit together. But I was on my way to work in Minnesota when I found out that my tire was about to fall off, and I was like, okay, I'm just done putting money into this van. It's got 300,000 miles on it. She's been good to me, and I love her so much. But if I have to spend $600 to $1,700 every event, it's not making sense anymore. You know,
Right.
I'm like, that's my car payment right there. So I just bit the bullet and bought this van. I had it delivered to me in Bismarck, left that van there, went straight to Minnesota, worked Minnesota Yacht Club, went straight from there to Milwaukee and worked Milwaukee's Harley Homecoming. And then straight from Milwaukee out here to Sturgis. And I've been here for the last 15 days.
All right. So let me ask you,
working.
let me ask you a question, and not everybody that listens or watches, are Harley riders and whatnot, but everybody's heard of Sturgis. But
sure,
I'm going to get really, really personal.
Okay, go for it.
So you've been there for 15 days, and obviously, through the thralls of Sturgis Bike Week.
Yeah.
How much money does one make just bartending? And how many hours a day are you working?
Yeah. Okay. So it varies. Event to event is going to vary. Bar to bar is going to vary. Year to year is going to vary. So, for example, this year was the 84th anniversary of Sturgis. Next year is the 85th. So on the 5 and 10 year anniversaries, it's bigger. So this was considered a slower rally this year. But you can kind of assume, I usually assume I'm going to average about 1,000 a day.
Okay.
Wow.
But it depends. I mean, I have worked events where I make 800 for 3 days,
Yeah.
But those aren't typically rallies. That's more music festivals. And if they're new and then you get not a great bar placement or the weather's bad, it's a risk. It's definitely a gamble. But it can be pretty beneficial and profitable sometimes.
So how do you get hooked up with all these different events? Is it word of mouth, like, friends like that you've met up there and they're like, hey, I'm going to go work this. Hey, call Mia, or I mean, how's that work?
It's a lot of word of mouth. It's kind of like an underground society. There's honestly a lot of gatekeeping, which is something that we struggle with, but you kind of have to just go in, earn your stripes, prove what you got, and then it will unfold from there. And it is a lot of that. Like leaving this week, I have 2 offers at 2 different bars for different rallies going forward. So it's, you go in, keep your head down, bust your ass, do the best that you can do, and hope that somebody else notices you and wants you on their team, But yeah, you have to get on each individual bar for each individual rally. Now, music's a little bit different. Like music festivals, they have what's called a concessionaire. And so the concessionaire is the company that takes care of all the food and beverage operations for that event. So one concessionaire, for example, one of the companies that I work for, they do probably 100 music festivals a year. So again, you go in, you do a good job, you keep your head down, you work hard, and sell the shit out of some drinks, and then hopefully you're invited back, right? Like everybody, when they order a Jack, you ask if they want a double, like whatever you can do to just try to do good, and then hopefully you get invited back. And so I'm now to the point that I pretty much just work with one concessionaire because they're really good to me, and I try to stay loyal to companies that are loyal to me. So I do music with them and then do rallies whenever I can get on with different bars for that.
Now, do you have a favorite festival, a favorite, and I know you following you all winter and all, I guess fall and early spring. Do you have a favorite country that you've been to as well? I know you love waterfalls. So
I love waterfalls. I do love waterfalls so much. Okay. So favorite festival, that's hard because they are all so different, but I have a special love for Country Thunder, Arizona, but that was also the first festival I ever worked. So maybe that's why, I'm not sure, but it is pretty epic out there. Rally, I actually think I think Daytona is still my favorite, but that was also my first rally. So I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but as much as I love it out in this area, I still think I understand why the bikers like Sturgis the best, because it's the best riding for sure. There's like so much cool stuff to see and so much history, where Daytona is more of a party. But I guess as a bartender, I like the party scene more. It's better for me. Favorite country, I think it's actually Turkey or Sri Lanka. But I go back and forth. I used to always say that Amsterdam's my favorite city in the world. But Sri Lanka really blew my mind. I really loved it there. And Turkey was magical. I don't know. There's something special about it.
That is, it's so intriguing to me. I mean, I've only been to like 2 other countries. I don't count Canada as one. I've only been to 2 other countries, but like again, just to drop everything and say, you know what, I'm doing it. Fuck it.
Well, I mean, I kind of did it when COVID hit. I, got let go from where I was working. Then I got offered a job at the dealership and went over there, and then hey, I'm going back to school. So last 2 years, I was fortunate enough that I went back to school for 2 years and got my degree, and now I'm back working every day. So
COVID changed a lot of lives.
It did. It really did.
It absolutely did. I think it changed society as a whole.
Oh, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I was thinking about this the other day.
I don't know if you have a drink, but on this podcast, if you say 100%, you have to drink.
Oh, shit. Well, I don't have my drink with me. It's over on the blackjack table.
I didn't get it's on the blackjack table. Okay, sorry, my bad.
So which blackjack table or which casino are you at? Are you at let's see. There is which okay, go ahead, because my memory is already fried.
Put your words together.
I'm currently at Mountain Grand Casino.
Okay.
Right. In Deadwood.
Are you winning or are you losing?
I'm winning. I lost a little bit and then I started winning. So I was doing good and then my phone rang.
And then we interrupted her.
We fucked it up. We fucked her heater up.
I know. So we're gonna have to let her get back. So Mia, what are your Instagram handles? Where can people find you and follow you until we get you, in person and do a live with you?
Yeah, all my social medias are the same. It's Where in the World is Mia, M-I-A. It's like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, but Where in the World is Mia. And like Facebook, first name Mia, last name Travels, like Travels the World.
Got it. I put that in I put your socials in our description, so anybody that's watching on YouTube, they can find it there. But Mia, we appreciate you coming on for a few minutes, and I can't wait to actually meet you in person and really deep dive into your adventures, because
heck yeah, man.
I followed it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I should have done that. But I know too big of a wuss.
Well, I appreciate y'all, and I will be in Cincinnati in a couple of days, and I'm looking forward to linking up with you.
That sounds great. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Be safe.
All right, guys.
Yeah, safe
Take
travels.
care. You too. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
I tell you what, watching her for the last, I don't know, couple years, I think it was the same way with you. Friends of friends, liking, sharing, just connecting with her on the internet.
It's amazing how the networking happens.
It is. I mean, she's got the story that like you said, and we've all said, if I could just drop everything and just say, fuck it. She did. And she's living life. And I mean, if you follow her stuff, she just went and she became a certified yoga instructor. I mean, that was part of her. She was there for a month. I mean, just an incredible story that she has. I mean, she just backpacks across Asia, backpacks across Europe. I mean,
and it was funny because like you brought her up probably 6-7 months ago.
Yeah. Right around the time.
Actually, it was longer than that, because Rob was still healthy.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, and I was like, hold on. I said, I think I follow her, and you know her, and she's local.
She knows some of our Warthog friends as well from not here in Cincinnati,
which is just absolutely crazy to me. But
I know we have to get her to we'll have to see what we could do to get her to a rendezvous.
Oh shit. She'll fucking run that fucking thing.
I think she would. I think she'd have us all, especially with our tent cities. She'll know exactly where to put everything and what to do, and she'll be the new international president.
Oh shit! Oh shit! But no, that was good. We were gonna do a little bit deeper dive, but then she wanted to do it live. When she gets back into town, so we're like, all right, we'll just do like a little teaser episode, and that could honestly be just with what she's done.
We could do an episode and a half, and
exactly.
If she's willing, maybe we'll talk to her and see what more. Maybe check in with her when she's on the road, because I'm got a feeling she's going to go someplace this winter, and it's going to be not here.
Yeah, I don't blame her,
because if I was her and I had that attitude, my ass would be in like Australia or someplace like that this winter.
I don't want to fucking be here this winter.
I don't. If I wasn't, hey, you know how much I like to travel.
All right, so we're gonna dive for a few minutes back into this fucking Ferguson shit, because I think it's worth talking about.
It is.
This poor officer who just got smoked, not shot, but traumatic brain injury, and we have no idea what's going to happen. But this is the ignorance of people who can't just do the right fucking thing.
I mean, all you have to do is you got police
right now. I can tell you this: we know there's one officer with a severe brain injury in the hospital. Chief Troy Doyle said during a press conference this afternoon, another officer suffered an ankle injury, and a third had some abrasions to the leg.
10 years later, I got an officer fighting for his life. It's enough, and I'm done with it.
Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle emotional as he addresses a demonstration that turned destructive overnight outside the department on Friday.
Yes.
The same day Michael Brown was killed by a Ferguson police officer 10 years ago.
We allowed the protesters to block our streets out here. Not only did we allow the protesters to block our street, we even provided a car on the north end and on the north end and on the south end, so the protesters couldn't get hit by vehicles.
But then the chief says protesters started to shake and break the department's fence.
It was at that time I sent out an arrest team to make an arrest for destruction of property.
3 officers were injured, one with severe brain damage. Police say they even stepped in to help one demonstrator with a seizure. Residents and others have their own recollection of the night.
Never was there an order issued that it was an unlawful assembly. So police came out, rushed into a crowd, panicked. It was melee. So I would definitely put that the onus on the injuries that happened last night was on the police department.
One of the people that did get detained, when she went up with her camera, with her phone, she got pushed back. I got it on film. That agitated the situation.
Doyle maintains they've done the work to be better.
Everything that the activist community has advocated for, as far as body-worn cameras, implicit bias training, crisis intervention training, all this stuff, we have done all of this. What are we protesting?
The chief wants the people his officers work for to show them and this community's history respect.
We want people to peacefully protest, but we damn sure ain't gonna allow you to destroy this city, and we ain't gonna allow you to hurt none of these police officers.
In the last hour, St. Louis County prosecutor.
Yeah. Why are they protesting? They've done all of that. I love that.
I stopped that earlier, and there was nothing else after that, but the fluff of the newscaster. But yeah, he did everything that needed to be done. It's 10 years. All right. So let's be honest. It's been fucking 10 years. I hate the fact that Michael Brown perished. I hate that. But we have to be better. So you move on from that.
Are you honoring his memory
by doing dumb shit?
Right.
No.
You're making it worse by doing this. You're making it worse by continuing to commit violence in his name.
Yeah,
you want to honor somebody, do something good in their name.
So the city gave everybody the opportunity to protest. Go do your thing.
Yeah, like the lady said, there was no warning that it was an unlawful gathering, protest, whatever. It was not. It started out there, and he said, I sent down an arrest team to take care of those specific individuals because he wasn't going after everyone else. They were not going after to arrest every single protester there. It was just the small amount of people that were causing the damage. And then as opposed to the person that had the camera, they need space to work. And it was detained, not arrested, as the gentleman said.
Right. And this is the problem. I'm going to play this video. This is a problem before we talk via about the alderman.
Last night, one of those charged with property damage to the Ferguson Police Department is a Democratic convention delegate. He's also part of a police oversight board. Fox 2's Andy Banker has learned he may be forced out of both positions, though his attorney says he's innocent.
Keith Rose is a new member of the Civilian Oversight Board that reviews allegations of St. Louis police misconduct. Now, multiple aldermen for the city say he has got to go. It turns out Mr. Rose is also one of those charged in the events leading to a Ferguson police officer suffering a critical brain injury Friday night.
We were talking earlier.
Video they say shows Rose and other demonstrators shaking the automatic gate outside the police department and breaking off a bottom portion of it during a protest marking 10 years since the police killing of Michael Brown.
Right there.
3 St. Louis aldermen have now signed a letter to that oversight board calling on Rose to immediately resign or be removed.
What we saw is what's always couched and told to us in the narrative of peaceful protesting, and it turned violent with destroying a property and a serious injury to a police officer.
This is Rose from a 2020 interview with Fox 2. His attorney tells me he faced a bogus criminal charge in Ferguson years ago for his use of Crayola chalk on a sidewalk. He says, we are confident that we will prevail again like we did last time. Our thoughts are with the officer who was injured. Rose is also among 84 people splitting a close to $5 million settlement with the city of St. Louis for alleged police mistreatment during mass arrests in 2017 for a protest against the acquittal of a police officer in the deadly shooting of a drug suspect. St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones, who appointed Rose to the oversight board, says he has now recused himself from board activity aside from training, pending the outcome of this new case. The aldermen signing the letter say that's not enough.
When it rises to the level of those allegations, I think it's time for you to either resign or be removed.
Where's the accountability?
Yeah. So when you're a fucking sorry. So when you're a elected official, we don't have aldermen here in Cincinnati, and I'm assuming that's I haven't done enough research to know, almost like a district rep of the city,
right?
Because you have the city that is that big.
If I'm remembering correctly, it is kind of like it's a neighborhood representative,
but you're still elected.
Yeah, you're elected by that precinct.
So this guy's elected. He's involved in two different, one in his own city and then one in Ferguson.
Right.
You're an elected official that is out there fucking causing or part of the ruckus. Maybe he didn't cause it. I'm not saying he caused it. I don't want to get yelled at for accusing him, but he was part of it.
Yeah.
He wasn't stopping it.
Yeah.
He's was not allowing it.
How many times do they say police officers, firemen, elected officials, they need to be held to a higher standard?
That's all we hear.
He's an elected official. He needs to be held to a higher standard. He's an appointed government official. He needs to be held to a higher standard. I mean, you look at this now. Okay, they have the Democratic Party has these oversight committees. They have this, they have that. How much more government does the Democratic Party need? They sound like what they were screaming at the Republican Party years ago. And now the Democrats, they want this club. They want this committee. They want that committee. The Republicans now, they want less government. It's like our different parties, they flip-flopped.
Yeah.
And you look back in history, years ago, the Republican Party was, this more liberal. Back when you had it during the 1800s, if I remember correctly, in all my history classes, it was the Republican Party was, they were the party of Lincoln. That's why you have the Reagan-Lincoln Day dinner. They freed the slaves. They were the more liberal, party. They were more for people's rights. And then all of a sudden they became more for big business and they wanted more government. And I think that's where a lot of these people now are stuck with, that they look at the Republican Party, they look at it as big business. Well, now the Democratic Party, their donors are big business. They're looking, they want more government control. Where we have Republicans, whether you like Trump or not, whether you like Vance or not, they're the people. They're the people that these, unions are starting to back. And that was where the base was for the Democrats years ago. And now it's transitioning once again into 2000. At least seems like every, 90, 80 years, our ways and our parties, they transition. So, who's to know? 100 years from now, the Democrats will then be the Republicans again.
Well, I want to play this video from this police chief, and like you said, it's a police chief that you would want to work for, and it would be a fire, flip it around, it would be a fire chief that I would want to work for. Just watching the emotion in this guy's face and press conference, it's not faked, and it sucks. Like he's literally looking at one of his guys, for no other reason, is critically hurt. 2 kids, if I remember correctly, it's 2 children.
Yeah.
Just watch this. That's where he gets slammed to the ground. His head hits the concrete and completely fucked him over.
Thank you. Miss Bell, you know about the charges.
And this is their attorney that's going to talk about all the charges and that, and it's you can find this, but I wanted to pull that part of the video up because to have a grown man, you know, we all like to be rough and tough and whatnot, but for somebody that can't even get words out because he cares so much about his fucking people, you know, I applaud it, but it shows how human that he is. And then with the other video where we did everything you wanted us to do.
Right. After
Michael Brown's death, we did everything you wanted us to do. And you're still coming and fucking the town up.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. That's one of his guys. He's known him probably longer than, you know, the 8 months that he's worked there. You know, working for the same county, you know, in the same county. You know other guys and girls from other departments, other fire departments in our county. I know other people that work alongside me. You're going to walk into a hospital, see him laying there. It's your guy. You're in charge. What could you have done better? That's probably what's going through his head. You're looking at his kids. You're looking at his dad, his family, his mother. If he's got a significant other, you're looking at them. Well, it's not his fault that he's laying there.
Right.
It's this, you know, Alderman. It's his civil complaint authority person. But you have to think inside yourself, what could I have done? That, you know, it's not his fault. And everybody around him, everybody around that chief, everyone else around him has to say, it's not your fault. Because he's going to go through a crisis just like that officer and that family. And that's the biggest thing within first responders, second responders like yourself. You know, I had to get it in there.
I know.
You know, that's the one thing that I can say over the last few years, being in the positions where I've been in since I've retired. We've done a great job in the first responder community of taking care of our own, whether it's PTS or other types of mental health disorders. We've taken care of our own, making sure that we treat ourselves because those are out there. And it used to be where you're those big bad guys, he would have just sucked it up. And, you know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, hell, even 10 years ago, he probably would have just sucked it up, suffered through it in silence. But now something like that, he's out there talking about it.
He's okay.
Or looking at it.
His emotions show.
100%. And I'll drink to that one.
Cheers. But no, it's just crazy what's happening. And, you know, here we are 10 years later and they still want to break shit. Just protest and, you know, protest the fact that a young man is gone too soon. I get it. Whether you like the way he went or whether he didn't, celebrate his fucking life.
Exactly.
Don't break shit.
Yeah.
There's just no fucking reason for it.
Be happy. You know, hey, those are things that changed because of his life. You know, 8 years from now, are we going to have protests in Minneapolis because of George Floyd? I hope not. I hope that there's change, you know, and that their celebration because of some change that we might have had because of one thing or another that, you know, that led to. Whether the officer, if you lay on this side that the officer shouldn't have been charged, or you lay on this side that the officer should have been charged, I have my own opinions on that. After reviewing different documentaries and papers that have been released since then, that's for another episode because we could really dive into that.
Right.
But, but
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't change anything.
Somebody's gone. So celebrate them. Don't protest. Celebrate their life. And
you're not going to riot because, you know, I'm not going to riot when my dad dies. I know it's coming.
I'm going to.
I know one person that might.
I'm burning the place down.
I hope so.
No,
but just in a celebration.
It's just fucking ignorant. It's just fucking ignorant, and I don't understand. Yeah, walk and do your thing. But anyway,
yeah,
I'm gonna play this last video, and then we're gonna turn out. But so to give some background on Mia, this is a local news story that was played, and I hope you follow her. It's very, very entertaining to see like where she's at, what she's doing. But I can't wait to have an actual like full on interview and get more deep dive more.
The journey began just a couple of days after the AFC Championship game.
The drive, of course, very long, but this woman from the West Side is making it a memorable trip by having Bengal-related stops. Here's Brad Underwood to explain.
He's the only one for me, Jolene.
It's her soundtrack to van life, tunes and the wind.
I left Cincinnati in July of 2021, and I've been on the road about 8 months.
Mia Ventry quit her job last year and is now a traveling bartender. This is her home, a big orange ambulance.
All my food and kitchen equipment goes in there.
The lifelong Bengals fan is turning the Super Bowl appearance into a road trip. Along the way, making Bengals-related stops, like Fort Payne, Alabama, the hometown of Evan McPherson.
We went past the high school. I drove past his parents' home, and they have a little sign out front that says, "We love number 2."
From there, it's on to Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium, where Joe Burrow became a household name.
It was kind of cool to see Joe Burrow's old stomping grounds and Mike the Tiger.
And even the High School of Trey Flowers in San Antonio. The journey will end in L.A. with a job.
I got a gig bartending one of the tailgates with the NFL, and then I'll be off about 5 o'clock, and then I'm just going to wander around and hopefully find a bar. I'd love to get into the stadium if I can find a way.
Before hitting the road, Mia was a bartender at Keller's here in Cheviot. She says she's excited that the city is getting behind the Bengals, so much so they've even changed the names of the streets to the names of players and coaches.
I would love to be there, but to be at the Super Bowl itself, I'll live vicariously through everyone on Facebook.
And you can do the same as she's documenting the trip on social media. In Cheviot, Brad Underwood, Local 12 News.
So yeah, so pretty cool just to kind of wrap that up and put a bow on it. But
yeah, looking forward to
that'd be
her.
cool as hell to hear just all her stories.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think as much as we all like to travel, and especially you and I.
You want to talk about your friends at Engraved in USA, since I don't have to now, since you're here?
Well, my friends at Engraved in USA, they've been taking care of everybody and their promotional needs and their birthday needs or your gift giving needs since 1997. So you need to give us a call. Give Tammy, Tim, Tanya, or myself a call, and we can take care of yourself. We have these amazing 30-ounce tumblers that can be personalized, engraved with your favorite saying, logo, whatever you would like to design and put on it. Give us a call. We can take care of you. Or check out any of our items that we have on our website, www.engravedinusa.com. And as we are nearing the end of our summer season, we have Labor Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas just a few short weeks away.
God, don't say
I know. But it's never too early to start shopping for Christmas.
You're right.
And we have a few events coming up that we're going to be at. Tim and I will be in Maryland for the Maryland Italian Fest at the end of September. So if you're in Maryland, see us in Maryland at the Maryland Italian Fest. We'll have some gear there. But give us a call and check out our website. Again, www.engravedinUSA.com. And give us a talk to us and see what we can come up with for your Christmas gifts if you'd like, or any birthday or Christmas parties for your businesses if you're interested. Promotional items.
They can definitely do whatever it is you need done. They've treated us, this podcast, very, very well, and we appreciate the partnership. But Rich, I appreciate you being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I think it was a fun one.
I hope so. I hope everybody had fun.
Hopefully,
I know I did.
Hopefully, you'll be back.
I hope you'll have me back.
Well, I can't ask you if you manscaped because Dan's gone. But
does the shaving my head count?
Yeah, shaving your head does count. But,
okay.
You gonna have another beer when we're done?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna cheers real quick, and then we'll have a beer when we're done.
All right. My bad. I misunderstood that. No,
Hey,
damn it. I can't come back now. Okay, I will.
I think we are coming back. We're coming back Sunday. I believe I got an episode scheduled Sunday. So tune in, but shoot us. And I keep saying it all the time, but hit one more and I'm out of here at gmail.com or hit me on Instagram.
Don't forget to like and follow us.
Like, follow, subscribe. But anything you want to hear about, shoot it to us. If not, you're just going to listen to what we want to talk about. And we'd rather hear.
Don't forget to vote.
We'd rather hear what you want to talk about.
My name Nathaniel.